Hi everyone.
Hi.
We are recording from Goldener Westen, Berlin, because unfortunately we couldn't make it for the Twitch interaction. And that's why we recorded a video together with other members of the team.
Yeah, we hope we can provide some interesting insights into our process.
So our agency Goldener Westen took part in a call for tenders for the production of a prototype for a permanent exhibition at the Museum of Islamic Art inside of the Pergamon Museum in Berlin on the topic of the Crusades. The exhibition does not exist yet. It's planned to be open to the public in 2026. That's why they wanted first to have a prototype to see whether the concept in general was well functioning. So the aim behind the movie and the exhibition itself is to deconstruct the one-sided European-centric vision that we have of this historical period. The intention is to show how complex this period was, and that besides destruction and war, there was also a very intense trade exchange and cultural exchange that took place, and from which both sides profited, mostly Westerner countries, especially if we look at new products and ideas that were imported to Europe. This seen from the historical point of view, but there was also a second intention from the museum, that is to make reflect about how this one-sided vision still affects nowadays our way of thinking and our way to relate to these cultures and to those countries. So we decided to tell the story from an eye perspective. Instead of creating a documentary setting, we decided to stage an interview. So we see these two persons, you hear the voice basically, like this Osama ibn Munkid and a woman from our present days, because the idea is actually to make visible this exchange on the one hand between the cultures and also between historical periods, to make visible how the legacy from the Crusades still affects nowadays. So on the other thing is that we also wanted to play and to integrate the historical sources in the story as such. So not only we present photos of historical objects which are part of the exhibition, but we also use maps and illustrations and paintings that were produced back then. And also you can hear it also on the sound level, because we use also like a soundscape extract from the Damascus city.
We basically built this story experience by really get into the head of our main character. He's like the friendly neighbor who welcomes you into his home and sits at the table. And through his stories, we go deep into the history of the Crusades. So we have got this cool 2D character animation going on, and we have added some stop motion effects to give it that ritual vibe.
So the idea why the museum came to us asking for a video is that they wanted to see whether the history could be told in a different and more interactive way. Also because they wanted to reach a younger target group, not only museum goers, but also like trying to appeal school kids or people who don't have a direct interest in the topic and can be interested in delving deeper into it. We wanted to create something that stands by itself, that you can watch the movie and understand it, but at the same time also put it in relation to what is inside the exhibition, because actually you will see the movie played inside the exhibition setting and as an extra explanation to what you see in the display windows.
Firstly, animation is fantastic for artistic expression. It gives artists the freedom to explore all sorts of cool styles and be super creative. With animation, you can make these incredible fantasy worlds dream up the widest characters and even bring abstract ideas to life in a way that would be very pricey to do with a live action. And secondly, animation is awesome because it gives you so much flexibility and control. You can tweak and fine-tune very little detail in the visuals, make it just the way you want it. The last thing is when your story has these totally unrealistic elements that you just can't pull off in real life or it would cost a fortune. That's when animation becomes a perfect solution. You can let your imagination run wild and create everything you want without worrying about physical limitations. Yeah.
The illustration style combines collage elements from the exhibition, photos, and ornamental patterns as a cultural reference. We used silhouettes instead of characters with visible features in order to not reproduce stereotypical representations. And the concept is also reflected in the use of colors. We play with contrasts. All the historical pictures and exhibits stand out with saturated hues. On the other hand, all fictional elements are rendered in a vibrant palette.
Well, obviously, there's lots of character animation in the movie, so we had to streamline the animation process for most of the figures and make them work as loops and easy to animate. But then you have, for example, a walking horse, which I have never animated before, and that had to be handcrafted meticulously. But the biggest challenge, though, was animating the hands of the two protagonists. They do all sorts of movements, like turning a page or lighting a candle. And rigging and animating those took a lot longer than expected.
I think making this film was a challenge. We had to do a ton of the research and sorting to make sure everything was historically correct. The museum was a huge help. They provide us with all the history materials and we use them carefully and respectfully to get all the details just right.
Thank you very much for having included our film in the festival, and we wish you a good time and good food for thoughts during the conversation.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.